You have the chair.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for the first Georgian Kazakh project management bridge. I'm really pleased to see you all here, and I think we will wait for a couple more minutes, and then we will start.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
It's okay. Yeah, we can just start discussing and start. Let's see, people will connect, but we can just start introducing ourselves and meeting with the participants.
Okay. And then.
Okay, you want me to continue? Let's.
Please, we have people joining.
Okay.
And probably let's start in a couple of more minutes. And actually, we will either I can introduce the agenda sequence of the presentations, either you can. You are pretty well aware and know the sequence as well.
Yeah, if you can start, I would appreciate.
Yeah, no problem.
I will start.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first Georgian Kazakh project management bridge. And this is my honor and pleasure to participate in this event and talk about project management. On this meeting, we will have presenters. First of all, let me introduce Arnar Makishev, who is ex-president of the PMI Kazakhstan chapter, and he is very active, and he's volunteered to present the current trends in Kazakhstan, ongoing projects, and what is the status of the chapter. Then I will present the status of the Georgian Tbilisi PMI chapter. What are the membership status? What is the volunteering status? What are the ongoing projects, and so on. Also, we'll have honorary consular of Kazakhstan in Georgia invited for this meeting, and he will share his intel about the macroeconomical situation in Georgia and Kazakhstan and comparison, and he will talk about investments coming in Georgia from Kazakhstan, and what are the challenges of executing projects in Georgia. So this is pretty much a short introduction of today's meeting, and Arnar, floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lila. My name is Arnar, as Lila has introduced me. Thank you very much for participation. I can see there are 10 participants right now. You will have time for questions after each speaker finishes his presentation. So let me start by showing you the piece of Georgia in my home. This is the painting of Tbilisi, Georgian painter. So I like this painting. Yeah, nice. Regarding our event, this is joint event, first of a kind. We have met with Georgian chapter during a couple of years ago in Serbia during PMI event. And I really like the events when you can participate with different chapters from different project managers from many parts of the world. And I think Georgia and Kazakhstan has many things in common. There are many people I know who worked in Georgia. I know people from Georgia working here. So let's make this meeting useful for making the connection the dots. Yeah. And first of all, Thank you very much for the organization, Lila. We are recording. We have Facebook live stream. So let me start the presentation, and I will speak about PMI Kazakhstan chapter, what it is, how many people are in chapter, what we do, and then I will talk about state of, I wanted to say, state of the union, status of project management in Kazakhstan, because right now the profession is evolving. There is an interest in agile and hybrid, and being an active PMP trainer, I see where the profession is going, and I'm trying to implement some new techniques in Kazakhstan. So I will talk about that. But first of all, for maybe people who are first time, if there are people who first time hears about PMI. So PMI is founded in 1969, so 52 years, and 50th anniversary we have celebrated in Astana. We have a huge conference and we have huge plans. But next year there was a quarantine lockdown and all the offline events are off as everywhere in the world. So I hope this year, by the end of this year, we will have some offline events. I heard that St. Petersburg chapter will have offline event on 25th of September. So if anybody will be there, I think I will be there. We will meet there. So regarding the just a little bit information for about the PMI. So there are many certifications. The most important is project management professional. I will have some statistics about PMP numbers in Kazakhstan, and we will compare with statistic from Georgia. I think Lila knows the statistic from your country. We will compare on the term of per capita, not on the absolute numbers, but per capita. It's very interesting. Regarding agile certifications, no, let's get back. So CAPM is not very popular. Regarding PGMP, PFMP in Kazakhstan, there are 1 person PGMP and no PFMP, 3 people PBA, I think 13 ACP, 0 scheduling professional, 0 risk management professional. So this is the status. Regarding the new certifications from PMI, Disciplined Agile, there are 3 Disciplined Agile Scrum Masters right now, as of last month, and 1 DASM, Senior Scrum Master, which is also our good friend for PMI Kazakhstan chapter. And as I see the trend in many areas, in many industries, so this is the world trend, which is from Pulse of the Profession 2021. You might have read it, might have not, but in my opinion, this trends on agile and hybrid is in Kazakhstan also. I do not concur the numbers. I do not obtain any statistical data, but right now the traditional project management in Kazakhstan, people are just disappointed in traditional project management. And when I consult companies, when I consult how to proceed with projects, more and more I will recommend to use disciplined agile, hybrid approach, maybe Scrum. But less and less companies rely on traditional because of the many disadvantages. And I try to consult and implement traditional waterfall in several companies. Some of these attempts were failed. Some of them were not, but this is the hard truth. Regarding the PMI Kazakhstan chapter, we have started more than 10 years ago the potential subdivision of potential chapter. Lila knows the story. We are the longest, the chapter which take the longest time to get chartering. So we have signed in 2018 the official chartering agreement with PMI. It was the longest. I think PMI Tbilisi chapter took like 2 years or 3 years, but we have worked 10 years because there are many reasons, because we have always changing board of directors. People wanted to make money from PMI, so there were many reasons. As of today, we have led 5 big conferences, more than 30 webinars and seminars. We have participation. Right now we have participation with PMI Georgia Tbilisi chapter. And by the way, you have interesting thing with the name, right? You have PMI Tbilisi chapter instead of PMI Georgia chapter. We have the same situation. We cannot officially, for the government, we are not PMI Kazakhstan chapter. We are PMI Eurasia chapter, Eurasia, because by the local legislation in Kazakhstan, you cannot have name Kazakhstan in the name of public society. We have legal entity, non-profit company, non-profit organization, public society, and there is a law which states nobody can use name Kazakhstan in the name. So for the world, we are PMI Kazakhstan chapter, but for the local government, we are PMI Eurasia chapter. This is a very funny story. And what we do, PMI Kazakhstan chapter, right now we are very active with regarding networking. We are almost every month we have sessions, we have webinars, we have Scrum games, we are consulting regarding PMP. We do not teach PMP. We provide SPDU for our members. There is an active Telegram channel and WhatsApp channel where we will share the vacancies, the positions, and I can assure there are many people who get the job through networking through PMI Kazakhstan chapter. So if you will hear about in my presentation, if you hear some project which you are interested, you have relevant experience, you want to work in Kazakhstan, just direct message me. I will post the CV, or not CV, just I will post in our groups that there is a person with this much experience, this education, and he's willing to relocate, to study, to work in Kazakhstan, because we have a lot of positions and not many people with the experience and PMP. Yeah, let's talk about PMP. But before that, PMI Kazakhstan chapter, we try to be creative. So there is a book club, which is not very successful. I try to maintain it, but my ability is limited and there are not many members. But I really think that it's a good initiative. We have running club, which is minor success because it's very popular everywhere in the world right now. There is a popularity in healthy style, so that might something you can think about it if you don't have it. There is a mentoring program which is minor success because we have 25 mentors and more than 50 mentee people who undergo mentoring sessions with our mentors. 11. I mixed up the numbers. 11 mentors and 24 mentees. We have participation with Uzbekistan people, and we support them with their intention to establish PMI Uzbekistan chapter. Right now, the PMI Uzbekistan chapter does not exist, but we nourishing and mentoring people who in the near future will take the lead. The idea is to not to diverse from the Eastern Europe. Right now, Georgia and Kazakhstan belong, and Russia will belong to Eastern Europe. But I think we can have something more than that. We deserve our own region because it's a huge area. Maybe in the future, maybe in Moscow, maybe in Georgia, we will have the headquarter of PMI, and we will meet our local Central Asia and Caucasian countries. I think it's a good idea, but we'll see. There are 9 people, 4, 6, 7 people in our chapter. There were some more people. That's why I'm counting. I'm the past president. Unfortunately, Yulia, our current president right now, she is teaching on the evening class, so she is apologizing for that, mixed schedules, but I will cover for that. And we have some people. This is our Victoria Kim. She's in Uzbekistan. She is very active in our events. She participates events in Almaty because you might not know, but between Tashkent and Almaty there were very small distance, so people just can walk across the border, take taxi, and from one capital you can get to another capital. Considering how huge this country, our countries, it's a good thing. Okay, another thing about I wanted to discuss, it's about PMP status of the profession. How many PMP in Kazakhstan? I don't know if you can see the statistics, but on the right-hand side you can see number of PMP in Kazakhstan from January 2020 until January this year. You can see the 70 people increase. So it was 250 last year, and this year it's more than 320. So more than 70 people will have obtained their PMPs because of the lockdown, because of the people didn't have anything to do, I suppose. So it's very interesting to see your statistics, and considering the population, about 19 million people, you can compare with Georgian numbers. And there is a statistics in the world. PMP right now, PMP, there are more than 1,135,000 PMP. So this number is rising constantly, and you can see numbers of CAPM, numbers of ACP. 10 ACP. I was wrong, just 10 ACP. And we have a good retention rate. Right now, there are 119 members of PMI Kazakhstan chapter, but we have paid membership. In the past, we were 350 members, but more than 2 years already, we have $20 fee for participating in PMI Kazakhstan chapter. We deliberately make this not free because we wanted to give the chapter member all the benefits, and without budget we will not be as efficient as we can be. And I think it pays off because the member satisfaction increases. People just PMI questions the members about retention, about overall satisfaction, and year by year we have some increase, even though we have paid membership. It's an interesting thing. And you can find us on LinkedIn, on Facebook, in Telegram. And what we do, what we provide, if you be in Kazakhstan in your future, if you plan to work in Kazakhstan, we can be your guide, your networking base, where you can find local, even friends. I know what stress it is if you want to relocate, so we can. The same applies, I think, to PMI Georgia chapter. When Kazakhstan when people from Kazakhstan goes to work in Georgia. Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. You have a point of contact if you think that you will be moving for the work purposes or any other purposes. You have a point where you can refer to. Always welcome.
okay, thank you. And there are people I know who works in Georgia, and from they speak about the differences in the mentality and working culture. It's very interesting. It's not bad or good. It's just different, like everywhere in the world. And this is our biggest event so far. We have a conference. So finish about PMI Kazakhstan chapter. Let's talk about status of the profession. What's happening in Kazakhstan regarding project management? Just yesterday, I think there was a Project Management Awards 2021, the start of the competition. It's second year where this competition starts. Last year, the competition were limited only to the to the government agencies, committees, stuff like that. So public servants. But this year, businesses also is invited, so it's very interesting. Personally, we have the idea to start our own award in Kazakhstan, PMI Kazakhstan chapter, Project Management Award, something like that. In Russia, Project Olymp, there is a competition where people from Kazakhstan goes to Russia and participate in their competition. So, but I think it's not fair because they have more companies, they have different approaches. So we had to have some local award, and this is held by Academy of President of Kazakhstan. So it's a very interesting award. And Yulia, our president, is one of the chapter of the committee of the jury. She will also estimate and participate in awarding ceremony. So it's very interesting initiative. And there are some projects I was puzzled. There are so many projects, and I didn't know which were significant for maybe for Georgian people, Georgian project managers. So I suppose you're strong in hospitality business, in civil construction, in luxury construction, stuff like that. I don't meet a lot of Georgian project managers in oil and gas, but there are many opportunities for oil and gas. So if you are interested, you can contact me. We will think about it. But the project which I have like shortlisted for your attention is Turkestan project. Turkestan is a small city near Shymkent city. Shymkent is a very big city. Shymkent is like 50-60 kilometers from Tashkent. If you are good in geography, you can imagine the map, so you can orient where it is. Turkestan is very ancient city, and the government invest a lot of money right now. So at least 200 million into hotels, into luxury spas, and actually this summer my intention is to get in the car with my family and travel through the southern part of Kazakhstan, because I locate in Nur Sultan, the coldest and the most okay, the thing I wanted to say, Nur Sultan is famous for bad weather because temperature swing between summer and winter is like 80 degrees Celsius. So at winter time it's minus 40, at summer it's plus 40. So we are used to the extreme of weathers. So we wanted to go somewhere nice. And the intention to go to Turkestan to see the ancient buildings which is there, new buildings which is there. Right now it's under development, and maybe there is an opportunity. The other project is Bozjara project, is in Aktau, in Mangistau region, near Caspian Sea. You can see magnificent views of there is a terrain which is like from Mars or the moon, I don't know. So there will be a very controversial project right now. There are lots of discussions, and public perception of such project is like destroying national parks, stop doing that. And I think our project managers who manages this project is doing a bad job, because stakeholder engagement very poorly executed. So there are another opportunity. There is many mining projects right now. The biggest is RG Gold project. The reason why I bring this up, because I participated. I'm participating right now. It's in this project. It's very huge. There are many opportunities, many contractors who needs project management power, planners, Primavera planners, risk managers, all the people from project management area is welcomed. So regarding there was Georgia. Is he here? Georgi. Yeah, we have discussed before. Georgi, hello. Yeah, we have discussed you are interested in legislation that in Kazakhstan. What's about, you mentioned what's the status, or I have mentioned this, but I wanted to draw your attention about the in Kazakhstan legislation, project management is stipulated by the law, and there is an interesting clause in the construction law of Kazakhstan, which states project management as the organization, planning, coordination, control for the construction and commissioning and startup. And there is a special certification for companies. You cannot provide project management consultancy for the government projects unless you have some affiliation, some certification. This certification is on the website. There is a procedure to do that. In order to obtain this certification, you have to prove you have some people with the experience, you have the force, you have project management software. In theory, this works. In theory, this law protects very bad companies to provide project management consultancy, but in real life it doesn't work. But it's in the law, so I think it's a good start to establish good project management consultancy companies in Kazakhstan, and establish. Yes.
The question is it protects, but does it create the demand on the project management?
Actually, yes, because it's in the law, because in the cost estimation. So for example, Kaztransgaz, which is the biggest gas transporting company, I have participated in construction of Sararka gas pipeline, which connected southern part of Kazakhstan to Nur Sultan. It's a huge gas pipeline. The cost, I think, it's about 1 billion USD. No, it's a little bit smaller than 1 billion USD. But there was a technical supervision, and there was a PMC company, and they work back like hand to hand, and it was in the law. For example, if financial police or some taxing agency will come to Kaztransgaz and ask, why did you pay to this company for such small report, for example, or for services. Why so expensive services of MS project of Primavera? People don't understand the value of project management in their opinion. So why is this report so small, is so expensive? And they do not see that this report have saved the company millions of dollars. But right now the customers, the clients are protected by the law, so they can open the law and say, okay, we have not done anything wrong. There is in the law, there is even norms, the norms for estimating the services fee. I know in the world it's nonsense how you can estimate the by of course you can get some benchmarking, some estimation, but to rely on fixed standard, it's a very tricky idea, but it's a good start. And the services is very cheap according by this project management paragraph in cost estimation the standards norms. So it's a problem. Okay, enough for that. So I have my time has elapsed. If you have any questions, I'm ready to answer. Lila, if you can remind the agenda. Do I have some time to answer the questions? If not, you can use our...
We can proceed now I will present. First of all, welcome Georgi Jakhutashvili, Honorary Consul of Kazakhstan in Georgia. I am glad to host you on this meeting. It is very important for you to attend this meeting and share your practical vision and challenges also in project management. Thank you for attending and taking on this invitation. I will present from my side a little bit history, and then Georgi will present his findings and also some research survey results. And please write the questions. All the questions are welcome in a questionnaire chat, and we will address all those questions after the presentation.
Okay. So, Georgi, you can share your screen.
Okay. No, as I remember, the time is for Leila, but I can continue.
I will actually I will do the presentation if you give me the right.
Yes.
You have the right. You can use the...
Okay.
I don't want to mix the protocol.
Okay. So,
but while Leila is preparing, I have a question to you, Ernar. Yes. Okay, there's some in the codex there is written some legal points for the project management, but what the private companies are doing, is this the mandatory or this is the written norm? And for the state procurement, it is okay. You can make a compliance with the documentary and the purchases of the services of it. But does the private investment and private projects are requiring this kind of services?
Yeah, I understood your question. There is a private business can do what they want. They do not have to follow this certification, but they prefer to get the certification and to have it in place just in case. For example, all the major PMC company, which I know in Kazakhstan, they all have certificated. There is a list of companies certified in Kazakhstan.
Don't want to mess. The PMC companies, they are service providers also. Yes, they are providing service to budget projects, like state projects, like the construction companies who are doing the projects based on the state also the budget. But I mean the private projects, the private investment projects, where there is no any budget money. Do they use or do they require the professional project management approach, traditional one?
Yeah.
Not for the state and not for the like.
It's a common practice where, especially with the complex projects in mining, in uranium industry, in oil and gas. But usually the cost of such complex projects is like above 500 million USD. In this case, if there's a stake is very high, local companies, they do not have experience, and foreign companies comes and get these services, provide these services. On the smaller scale, there is no this practice yet in place for attracting PMC company. Even construction companies, they do not. Right now, there's everywhere in the world, construction company is civil industry and industrial construction companies. There's so many projects, and people really feel that because of such high demand, they cannot proceed as they used to do in the past. In the past, there was no need in project management. You can get project as usual. But right now, where you can get, instead of 2 projects, 3, 4, 5 projects by the same resources, I think people will think more about the benefits of project management. So this is my expanded answer to this.
Yeah.
Okay. Probably I will proceed with the presentation about Georgia chapter.
Yes, please.
Okay. So I would like to present the board of directors of the PMI Tbilisi Georgia chapter. Right now we have 5 board members, myself. I'm Leila Machaidze. I'm a founder and the president of the Georgia chapter, PMI Tbilisi Georgia chapter. And actually, Ernar, you mentioned the name, and we also included Tbilisi in the name because everybody were mixing us from the state of Georgia. So to make it clear, we just added the word Tbilisi. So, but we still have members from Miami and other states of United States, and we don't mind about this.
You could make a fee for participating and attract Americans.
Actually, it was very nice experience sharing from your side. Right now, the chapter membership has 0 fee, and maybe we will also introduce some minor fee, and this will be the revenue stream for the chapter. Let me also introduce other board members. Tamar Machavariani, she is Communication and Marketing Director. George Begiashvili, Finance Director. And recently elected, we had e-elections this year, and recently elected Education and Academic Outreach Director, Georgi Lobzhanidze, and the Director of Membership and Volunteers, Kesaria Tokhadze. Actually, they are present here, and if there are any questions related to their topics, they are here and ready to participate. So, actually, the history of the Georgia chapter is not really long. We finally were founded. Well, it didn't take as long as the Kazakhstan chapter, but it took about 4 years. We were a little faster. So not 10 years, but at least 4 years, we all worked really hard together with the founders. We have in total 6 founder members. Georgi, Begiashvili, and Tamar are also founders. And we have an advisory board also, 3 advisors who are really also the PMP holders. So it took us a long discussions and reviews of the multi-year business plan. We started the process in 2014 and finally were officially founded as a non-profit organization, of course, to share the knowledge about project management, increase awareness about the project manager's profession, and anything related to the project management, new methodologies, new trends, new developments. So that was the first initiative also about the establishing volunteering culture in country. So right now we have 72 members and volunteers, 61 volunteers. I'm really proud that all volunteers here are really active and they participate in surveys and participate in organizing different events, surveys, and so on. So little bit of statistics. So it took us a long way. When we started, actually, I remember 2013 when in Georgia there was only 27 PMP holders. Right now the number is increasing, and as you mentioned, actually 2020, probably, as you said, there was nothing to do but just take exams and pass the PMP. We had the boost of the PMP holders in 2020. We have plus 27 PMP holders. Right now, the year hasn't ended yet, and we already have plus 15. For the scale of Georgia, actually, before this meeting, we had some discussions with Ernar, and I think for the population of the 3.5 million of Georgians, the number may not seem as huge as the Kazakhstan numbers, but per the population, we are not doing really bad.
You beat us per capita.
Yes, exactly. So I'm really happy and glad and proud that each of the board members, former board members, the advisory boards, they are the contributors to this increase. They are really serving the profession and advocating the project management wherever they work. So I see the familiar names and faces here, and I'm glad that they are really for the education, for the standards and methodologies, and you can see this influence in the country. So I'm thankful for this. The next topic that I wanted to cover is the membership. The slide is really interesting, which I'm presenting the membership. As I said, one of the requirements for the chapter to be established, there should be at least 25 members. So in 2014, we had 27 members. Then the numbers were increasing, and in 2018, actually, we have an increased number of 86. So in 2019, actually, in 2019, we had official opening of the chapter. So it was also nice to hear how you compared the local name and how you are associated with the PMI, because we legally also are non-profit organization, and the official name in the registry is the name of the Project Management Society. But we, of course, have a chartering agreement signed with the PMI, which gives us a right to use and be stated as the PMI Tbilisi, Georgia chapter. For the membership, the boost of the membership we had in 2019. The year 2020, the pandemic year, COVID-19 year, actually the membership has dropped dramatically, even though the number of the PMP holders has increased. So that was a sign for the chapter members to see the ways how we can create value for our members and see the different ways how we can activate create value for our members. One of the values that we saw was having a bridge with the different chapters to share the experiences, share the knowledge with other chapters. And this is actually the example. Our today's meeting is an example of one of our measures to create this value. So we did analysis. Right now we have 113 PMP holders, as I mentioned earlier, and we did analysis of where those PMPs are working. What are the sectors they are more involved? First place is financial services. This is the banks and financial institutions. This is the most PMP friendly environment. The next is IT. And of course, the economy supports that because we have very well developed and matured banking systems and IT sector. What is interesting, the next on the next level is construction, and the number of people working in construction, PMP holders, is increasing for last 2 years, and it is probably due to the ongoing major projects in construction, infrastructure construction projects. The next what comes is telecom, healthcare, energy, and we have PMPs in government sector as well. And the last is manufacturing. We have only one person from the manufacturing sector. So these are the trends. So what is in demand for the PM methodology and for PMP holders? I had discussion with the HR representatives, and the biggest demand nowadays in a local market is for the construction PMP holders. Even big international companies are operating here already or looking for the market in Georgia or to enter this market, they are looking for the PMP holder PMs. It is very interesting because earlier, as I mentioned, we have lots of PMP holders in the finance sector. The next demand for the PMP holders is in IT, finance, and healthcare. So it's also an interesting trend. We did some discussions with the different big companies, what methodologies they use, and the most demand is for the hybrid. The next comes agile, and I have even talked with the big construction companies, and the data actually, unfortunately, there is not a big data about what is happening, and there are no surveys. And we had the discussion internally for the need of the surveys and data in the project management in country. So these are the topics that still needs to be researched, still needs to be monitored, but the data collection and data science is not very developed right now in Georgia. So demand for hybrid is pretty high, and agile and classic methodology of the project management is in a medium demand right now. Initially, when this the trend of the agile came, the demand for agile was much higher. Then companies revisited their decision to transform into the agile way of structure and management, and they went back and chosen the hybrid method. We have different programs like planned for the last few years we were executing, and also continue how we see the chapter should be contributing to the development of the profession. We are like present and hold the different, when it was allowed actually, hold the different events at Tbilisi State University, and we had the workshops for the pupils.
Lela,
I think you should stop this. Lela, we can see you.
So I think, yeah, I think there was some technical issue. Is my presentation back now?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so I mentioned that we had programs and we continue programs for the universities and for the pupils in the schools. Especially our focus was working with the people in remote municipalities. So we had like different workshops in Bolnisi. This is the area, one of the municipalities in Georgia, Bolnisi and Gori. So we did these workshops, and the participation was pretty active. Again, we had the when it was allowed, of course, we had several events in universities. Just recently, the newly elected director of the education organized a meeting with the Tbilisi State University Public Health Program participants. It was very interesting and involving meeting. So these are quick snapshot of what we plan to do. We have planned different thematic meetings for the disciplined agile, procurement in project management, and HR role in projects. By the way, you mentioned different certifications. Right now, I didn't include for example, disciplined agile or CAPM, because we only have in country 2 CAPMs, and we don't have any disciplined agile certified people. Unfortunately, neither we have the program management professional certified in country. You mentioned that in Kazakhstan there is one certified project manager professional, and no portfolio manager, certified portfolio manager in Georgia either. What we also plan, we have an annual conference planned yearly. We will conduct different educational programs, as I mentioned already, and I showed them. We will organize the PM spot, and we will cover the youth sector, and for the creation of the member value, we thought that it is very important that we know who the PMP holders are, and we started to create videos, short, brief videos about the PMP holder project managers in Georgia. So who they are, where they work, and what they do, and what are the benefits for them to be a PMP holder. So I want to cover also briefly the major projects, major infrastructure, because as you see, demand for the PMP holders is increasing in the construction sector. So there is some demand that is creating this, yeah. So there are major infrastructure projects in Georgia. For example, the projects of East-West Corridor Highway. This is modernization project, and it is for Georgia scale. When you mentioned the scale of the project, of course, we have to compare the size and scale. For Georgia, it's a huge project. It is like 51.6 kilometer road with the 96 bridges and tunnels. And the project is progressing really rapidly. And actually, it requires involvement of the different stakeholders, and the stakeholder management topic is pretty huge in these projects, as you mentioned. The same major infrastructure continuation is the north-south corridor of the highway. This is also one of the biggest projects, and it creates the demand for the project managers. Actually, I included this project because this project has created really big turmoil recently in Georgia. And for me, this hydropower plant construction project is a clear example of the stakeholder management and stakeholder involvement, how it is done in projects. Actually, this project has lots of challenges, and I can say that they will really need to rethink the way they plan and the way they want to execute the project, and they will really need the revisit the risk management plan as well as the stakeholder management plan. So this is also another big project that we are carrying, but is right now on the pause. And as you mentioned in one of the project that you have in Kazakhstan, there is skepticism from the population. They don't really believe this is there is a benefit of having the project in place. And as a professional project manager, we believe that there were like some mistakes done during the planning of the project, which could have been done much better. The last project that I wanted to bring is the upcoming and in the planning stage right now. This is a new project for the renovation of the regions, and it will cover, so you understand, for those who attend from the Kazakhstan chapter and not aware, actually in Georgia, under preview of the Georgian government, we have 64 municipalities. Right now, the scope of this program will cover 63 municipalities except Tbilisi, because Tbilisi is covered by the different preview. And this will be one of the huge projects carried out by the states, and it will involve all 63 municipalities. It will definitely require workforce in the regions, in different areas, in not only in the construction, because it is complex. So it will really create demand for the professional project managers. Actually, that was really it. If you have any questions or need, actually, as you mentioned, Ernar, any experience sharing, or if we will have any job posting, we will be happy to share and exchange the information. I think due to this digital opportunities, we can share the information and experience much frequently, and discover the topics which are interesting for our members, as well as in general in the project management field. So I think it's a nice beginning of the discussion. Especially, I'm happy that Georgi has volunteered and joined us for this meeting to share his observations and research results about the investments going in Georgia from Kazakhstan, and comparison of the economical situation in these two countries. Thank you very much. Have I exceeded my timeline?
I think we are okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Georgia, you have your microphone is off. Please turn on your microphone.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I have to share my screen. Thank you, Leila, for presenting me and giving the time. While you are not saying that you have paid a huge money for my participation, for my attraction here. No.
By the way, until you're sharing your screen, there is Yulia, is the president of PMI Kazakhstan chapter right now, have joined us.
Yeah, hello, thank you. Sorry for being late. Greetings to everyone.
Hi, Yulia.
Hello.
Hello.
So, Georgi, you can say.
Yes. Right now, I will start my presentation. And before starting the presentation, thank you for the time, for minutes to share my opinion with your audience from the both countries, because both countries for me especially is really important, because I'm operating as a private businessman in both countries, in Kazakhstan, in Georgia, and you can I won't present my organization in depth, because you will see in the cover of our presentation kaz.g. Soon the web page will be online, and you will read information, and you can follow us in the social media, in web page, and to check about us. But the main idea is to somehow help to Georgia and Kazakhstan to strengthen the economic and social networks, and to use the potential of both countries. And who am I? I'm the private businessman operating in Georgia. My main business is an investment attraction, and we are managing the portfolio, not a huge portfolio, but around $50 million US, and very diversified portfolio. For Georgian sizes, it's not too small, it's a medium one, but we have quite good goals to reach up to 1 billion in several years, like 5 to 10 years to reach 1 billion. So it's quite a huge role plays the standardized project management, because this kind of portfolio management needs the project development at first stage, and of course it's need the quite huge amount of project managers. So Mike, I said about my commercial side, I got the status of honorary consul of Kazakhstan in Georgia, because my main investors and partners are from Kazakhstan. This is the private Kazakh investment in Georgia. So I'm dealing with the problems occurred in the project development side, in the different fields with the different stakeholders. So and with solving these problems, the also embassy of Georgian ambassador of Kazakhstan offered me this status. That strengthens my position, because this is the like status which both countries agrees that this person is the legal representative of Kazakhstan in Georgia, and Georgia approves him as well. So this is quite good role. And with on the two bases, we created Kazakh-Georgian Economic Union. And I will say briefly that since 2006, Kazakhstan was the first foreign direct investor in Georgia, and after Russia and after Azerbaijan, who are close neighbors of Georgia with the border, Kazakhstan invested quite a lot in Georgia, and this is the third country in post-Soviet Union countries among. So we created this union. I said already the mission to strengthen Georgian Kazakhstan economic and social relationships. And of course, we created this organization in March, but we wanted to have our own data and to form the KPIs. Do we work efficiently or not? And we summarized with TBC Capital. This is the daughter company of TBC Bank, one of the biggest banks in Georgia, which is marketed on the London Stock Exchange, quite well known, and TBC Capital made the research Georgian Kazakhstan Economic Partnership 2006-2020. This is the quite interesting presentation, and why I'm starting this from this position. I want to show to Kazakh friends the Georgian potential and the Georgian friend the Kazakh potentials, and today's situation, not to have the miss expectations in the future. And finally, I will finish with my personal view about the project management potentials and problems in Georgia and Kazakhstan as well, and the potential. So the presentation, I can later share this presentation, of course, with Lela, and Lela will help me to distribute to all of the interested parties. And I will not go with whole the presentation, but I will cover with several sheets, several slides. The first slide is quite interesting. This is the key figures of the macro parameters of Georgia and Kazakhstan, and you can see the really difference about Georgia and Kazakhstan. Georgia's GDP, Georgia's population, first of all, is the 3.7, and Kazakhstan 80 million. But we have to mention to our Georgian friend, Kazakhstan is the most diversified country with the ethnic representations. Really, native Kazakhstani Kazakhs are there about 9 million, and they half is a different nations among the Georgians, and the GDP difference is 10 times. 70 million is Georgia, and 180 million is the Kazakhstan. So this is quite big difference, and you can see the Fitch, Moody's, and Standard & Poor's valuation of the countries, and you can see that Kazakhstan has more positive than Georgia. Of course, it's the geopolitical sides and many different parameters, but for me, for the person who is really engaged with the Kazakhstan for decades, and the Pai family, 3 different generation, for me also it was quite surprising. So you can see the GDP structure for Georgia. This is the trade, other services, including financial and financial services, real estate, manufacturing. So if you will say today that which sectors are more spending, in which sectors the project management is might be needed, the first top 5 stakes are those ones, and you can see the Kazakhstani structure. The first is the trade, second is the mining. So what the Ernar was saying about the projects, you can see on this pie, I can say principally everything. So this is not a tough job to understand where might be the demand for the project management. Not for the project management, because from my point of view, not in Georgia nor in the Kazakhstan, in the private sector and in the real sector, there is no really understanding and awareness of the real benefits of the project management. I want to say that me and Lela, when we met in 2010, and I personally went through the project management courses, in PMI courses it was project management college, if I'm not mistaken. Lela, please.
That's
Hello.
right. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. But we both met there. We were classmates, and it was very interesting to see the tendency that actually the maturity of the project management knowledge of methodology was very poor in country those days. It was very poor, and actually it is very nice. But right now, this PMC doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, and what I want to say that not even nowadays, after that, it's already past 10 years, and I've got a lot of experience in the investment and the Georgian reality and Kazakh reality. I will say true that I don't see that there is a real vision and people, real investors who are investing. Even there is two investors, yes, in both countries. There's a government government budget and the private investor, not one and not another. They don't understand real the benefit. And what I will say that the real challenge for the project management people in both countries. This is the challenge to make more marketing and more information providing to these current players to create the demand, because not the projects are doing well due to the really reasons, because not right people are doing the projects, and the project managers are also trying because struggling with the contracts. So this is the positioning of Georgia and Kazakhstan in the global ratings, and you can see that Georgia, okay, we have in global ranking doing business 7th place, and Kazakhstan 25, but the global competitiveness index in Kazakhstan is ahead. They have 55th position, and you can see in which positions we have more or less. But the situation in Kazakhstan for investment as well is really good. I will now skip to the, excuse me, one person and came to me and I have to open office because people are out.
Actually, this is the way how we work right now. We are in all places and we are managing different tasks. So you have to adapt to the different circumstances. So
yeah,
no problem here.
I will move directly on the FDI, not to take a long time. We will discuss the both FDI from in Georgia and from Georgia to Kazakhstan. This will be quite interesting in which sectors both countries are making the investment and in which sectors investments are coming. So this will give approximately the view where could form the demand for project management. So I won't stop on the highlights because this has different purpose. You see FDI inflows in Georgia. So as you saw, the GDP is very small in our country. So also the foreign direct investment is small also. The maximum peak we've reached is the 2 billion. So Leila was talking about the regional project, and demand in the regions, but unfortunately, the whole budget of this whole program is 500 million lari, is like approximately $180 million, and it will be spent by the budget. It will be spent by the municipalities, and we understand how it will be spend it in which companies, small companies who are not using any professional itself. The general administrator won't be professional at all in the accounting, at least. So this will not form the real market for high professionals in the project management. From my perspective, as a private businessman and who understand the project management and who tries to attract the to attract the foreign investment, from my point of view, Georgia has to attract yearly 2 billion, approximately 2 billion for indirect investment and the private money to reach the normal economic development, where the project management really will be needed, and we have the greenfields in every sector. You can say that the sectoral breakdown of FDI, transportation, Is the Georgian transportation infrastructure well developed? No, we don't have a deep sea port. And starting in Kazakhstan and Georgia, and now my one of the projects, in the communication projects, the major perspective for Georgia is to use the potential and location of the transportation hub and transportation corridor. For Kazakhstan is the critical for the Georgian corridor, because from the one side it has the China, it's a political neighbor as well. From the above it has also a political neighbor, and the down is the regional market and stop. So the products and services, products especially Kazakhstani products, and the main exports of the Kazakhstan, you can see on that diagram, is the mineral fuel, iron and steel, ores, copper, like mining, major resource of the Kazakhstani income is the mining. It should be through the Georgia, because it has no any gate on the sea. But nor Georgia nor Kazakhstan haven't created this route, and we are both struggling. We don't have the enough transit products. Kazakhstan don't have enough exports in the world market. And why? Because of the infrastructural project. Because we don't have the ports. Our railway is not working properly. We don't have logistic hubs, and etc. So if the Georgian foreign direct investment for the years came to the transportation, 2.20. One of the hugest during this year was the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan pipelines, and exactly the international projects like pipelines and what is created by British Petroleum has created the project management in Georgia, and Lela will confirm this, because BP was requiring the project management certification in his service suppliers. So what I mean? There was created the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan. Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan invited BP. BP requested the professional services and professionals. So this is the market where we can see our role as a professional project management. And for me, as a private investor, I'm truly convincing you that this is critical, because if I want to create a portfolio 1 billion and more, I have to attract a lot of investors in short time. So I have to create a lot of projects and implement in the short span of time. So to create these projects, I need a lot of project managers. And it diversified, and in Georgia and Kazakhstan as well, project manager is mixed with the subject matter expert. Unfortunately, people who understand the subject, people are hiring, investors are hiring that kind of people as a project manager, because he understands the details of the technical details of the subject. Not everywhere, of course, but what kind of projects are going into Georgia where the project management is highly appreciated? Yet very small amount. Lela counted approximately on the fingers and not more. And we saw that in that kind of scale, there are the problems. Ernar confirmed with his word that there are some clause into the codex, etc. Okay, there is the government required, there are the miners, there are something like this, but maybe government spending required some certificate, and the companies are taking the certificate and the managers are taking the certificate. But the approach, really professional project management approach, is not practiced almost in both countries. So the Kazakhstan, you see the investors in Georgia, but it's not relevant right now. We are not talking about investment. No, why not? You see the FDI inflows in Georgia, 13% from Azerbaijan, 12% from Netherlands, 12% from UK. None the second, not the third, is the UK and Netherlands. This is the offshores. And this is the same Russian and Georgian capital from offshores. Turkey. Azerbaijan is not spending into the project management, but this is not in Azerbaijan. This is the Baku, Tbilisi, Ceyhan, Baku, Tbilisi, Kars, these kind of huge projects. This money comes from Azerbaijan. So in the statistics, this looks that the Azerbaijan is investing, but Azerbaijan is investing in its own projects to make a distribution of its oil. And where there is involved international company like BP requires the project management. Other investments are the more or less private investments or investment in the budget like FDI, like granting the state budget for the infrastructural projects. And we understand, we know clearly, and we see clearly the huge infrastructural projects in Georgia and in Kazakhstan as well, where there are contracts are taking the Chinese companies and different companies, and of course neither another are contracting the local project managers. They are bringing their own ones from China or from Turkey or from Italy, and there is no huge demand, I would like to say. Central Asia, FDI inflows from Central Asia. We are interested on the regional market as well, and you see the Kazakhstan is the no doubt the first investor in the country, first and in the first place in the amount of investment. 87% from Asian investment comes to Kazakhstan, and in 2006, 2007, 2008, before the war. So stopped, and really I can truly say that I am one and only who is trying to stop the decreasing trend of Kazakhstani investment in country and to start rising with the real estate and different small projects like 10 to 20 million, this kind of range of projects. But this is the start. This is the platform of improving. So I want to show you the sectors where the Kazakhstani investments are made for the recent years, like construction, HoReCa, transportation, real estate, financial services, other, and 10 million, 8 million. There was a outflow, and 7 million. So FDI inflows in Kazakhstan. Mining, manufacturing, trade, where the FDI goes to Kazakhstan. So these are the sectors where really is spending the money. You see the Georgian FDI inflow in Kazakhstan. So you see in 2020, from Georgia, the investment is made in Kazakhstan. And this was also in mining. A Georgian entrepreneur made some investment in Kazakhstan. So guys, I will share this information and you will find some more detailed information there, and you can see more interesting information for you. So you will make your own decisions and highlight there. But I wanted to show this data, and from this perspective, I will try to figure out my personal view. In any case, you are professional. You need the market. You need the contracts from the market. Market will be formed by the leadership of the investors, leadership of the project managers itself. Yeah. Today, not in the governmental project, not in the private projects. Georgia, only real market for project managers is the Western money. Western capital where the requirement could be followed to the money. And Lela told me that recently there was some movement in that direction in some projects. They already included in the state procurement or the procurement in the spending of their money that they already requiring. There was some starting position in the recent years that the state started requiring the supervision, technical supervision. Then state started to requiring the audited financial statements for the companies, construction companies who were applying, because they were bidding the low price, like dumping, and then they were taking the advance payment and went to the bankruptcy. Yeah, that's why our government started little bit improvement into the realization of the project and spendings in the efficient spendings. But you need to really, from my perspective, you need to raise the awareness of that profession, because even Georgian private investors. Who is the Georgian investor? Some people who got some easy money from selling of the property from parents or from Soviet Union, acquired in the low price, and they got money and started investment. But they are not investors at all with the philosophy. Yeah, they even don't understand the management, not the project management. So to take like this. So we need, and also from Kazakhstan, the Kazakhstan are coming the same persons. I'm dealing with the people who has the 10, 20, 50 million or more, but I'm talking with them with the language of business plan. And when I'm saying that people, let's spend some $50,000 in the business plan, oh, they are saying that, do we need the business plan? Or, I see the market is like this and like that. So this is really hard. We need the institutional investors also. But from my side, I'm taking the leadership in my projects. I'm convincing my partners. I'm trying to implement the practices, but there are no many people in this sphere. I'm not saying that you have to be pessimistic in both markets. We have to look a real picture. Yeah, my value participating here to say what kind of projects are going right now. Right now, I can say that there are no projects. There are some real estate projects, but there could be many projects. We have 100 balneological resorts. Historically, we don't have even one balneological resort operating. Okay, we can say Sairme, we can say like, but it's not. It's also its own one person who rehabilitated, and this is not the all-inclusive and fully adopted resort for 5+ days stay, because there is no infrastructure, proper infrastructure. So talk about the professional project management. So we need the tourism, really, Georgia, which kind of sectors we have? We have transportation and logistics, we have energy projects, we have 100 HPPs, hydropower plants. Current projects are stopped projects because the problematic, what the Lela said, the poor approaching to the stakeholders, yeah, poor attitude to this subject. Second one, we have energetic projects, we have logistic projects, we could have the tourism projects, we have all the country as a greenfield. We have only land, we have only water and sun and climates, but we don't have infrastructure, roads, pedestrian zones like attractions, hotels, and not to talk about the balneological. Balneological resort really needs the high professional project management. Really needs, because there is the, ideally, there plays the urbanist, master planners, professional master planners, professional biologists, professional people for the climate, professional people for tourism experience, professional medical expertise for the balneology. Somebody should coordinate all these kind of disciplines, yeah? And this is the really project management. And who can really be a good mediator for this, to create at first the plan, to create the project plan and start implementation with the right stakeholders. In Georgia, nobody approaches the project like this. And like a state comes out and says that we are preparing the 100 real estate points and properties for sale. But there is no investor who will come and buy just solely the property. It needs the idea, it needs the whole business plan, and business plan should be created by the project managers. Not the project manager needs the investment management manager as well. There are multidisciplinary work, but this is the project management. It has start and it has end. So I see the huge potential in both countries. Also, the Kazakhstan is not developed at all. It is mining. It is just mining its own natural resources. It's not creating the value at all today. Kazakhstan, it's a gas production country. It's mining the oil and it's producer of gas, and they don't have the export of fertilizers. And the whole world is rising into fertilizer, and Azerbaijan spent $1 billion. They built the fertilizing plant in Azerbaijan, and this is 5th year today, they could not reach 50% of their production capacity because of project management. They spent huge money, but they failed in the project management. They cannot. They have I don't know, Rolls-Royce. They bought the Rolls-Royce, but they cannot drive in their roads. So what I want to say that Central Asia and Georgia, if you will look at the market where the product should be, where the natural resources should be collected and mined and then produced and created the value after the product, they need to be sold out. To say about the product from the product position, yeah, and this could be first of all you need to mine it, then you have to manufacture it, and you have to transport it and sell in the Western markets. So there is the huge potential in Central Asia and Caucasus because we have green and brown fields. We don't have even one sector which is really developed. Not to saying about the financial services and digital projects. Kazakhstan has tries to position itself as the country who is modernizing its governmental and private whole life in the digitalization direction. So Georgia has the experience in this field. Kazakhstan don't have the experience. Georgia has. We have the good banking system, we have digital banking system, we have good professionals, but we have good subject matter experts, but they're not the project managers there. So Kazakhstan, on the basis of the International Financial Center of Astana, can market this idea, and Georgian professional can attract Georgian subject matter experts in Kazakhstan to create the big projects. So I think that your attitude, why I'm talking about this, as an investor, I'm trying to create my market. And where is the market? What is my market? My market is the investors from one side. Okay, I see the investors, but I don't have the projects. So I'm trying to create even the investors and even the projects. Sometimes I'm creating the project and offering to investor. Sometimes I see the investor, I'm trying to find the project for themselves. So you as the project manager professionals, if there is no project, we have to create projects. How? using me as one of the facilitator investment. So using me to create some areas of investment. So you will help me in the project management. I will help you to in attraction of money. So it's quite easy. So, and in addition, for the final stage, Ernar and Lela, they offered to both sides that networking in Georgia and Kazakhstan. I cannot compete with Ernar and Lela with the network size, of course, but what is rest, I can offer an advocacy of the interest with our both states in Georgia and in Kazakhstan. So what is left after the Lela and if you will have any problem with our states and in our countries, you can reach me directly. So I will be more than happy to help you. Thank you.
Win-win situation. Yeah, thank you, Georgi. You have answered my questions. I had a question which was in the middle. I wanted to ask what's the perspective, what are the interesting projects in Georgia? You have answered this. There are many opportunities, and as you mentioned, you also have some people who want to invest. I have some familiar with some people who has some capital, and they are looking around in Kazakhstan and do not see the highly profitable, not risky opportunities. For example, my good friend tried to make a production line. He want to move production line in China and do it in Kazakhstan. And the cost of production in China was 500 tenge per piece of the produced good, and in Kazakhstan it's 5,000, so tenfold increase just because of the project management and etc. and local labor fee and stuff like that. So I think it's an interesting that we know each other, and I can direct some people for you, maybe some people interested in investing in Georgia. We can have some connection. Win-win situation.
You see, Lela, you created value for me. I already got some investors.
Actually, collaboration always creates value, because sometimes we do things, but we don't really speak up about them. So this type of platform always creates an opportunity, always creates some way of networking and seeing where the gaps and how to fill those gaps. So I really see this as an opportunity to know Ernar, to start discussion, to know you from my experience, because we are serving the same purpose. We want the project management to be efficient and effective. How we can do that? You have some experiences in the Kazakhstan, and you can share. We are in a different stages of development, so there are different opportunities, and I'm really glad that we started this discussion, because it always requires some courage and some planning to start the discussion. You bring, Georgi, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. It was so well said. Actually, we, from my side, I tried to stay as more diplomatic as possible, and to give the numbers optimistic, to not to really stay in a negative, not the pessimistic side, but your intel as an investor, from the investor side, as the commercial vision of it, it is very important, because for us this is the ground how we will develop, how countries will develop, because this is the way how we educate not only the author and youth and the students, but also the customer. Yeah, we have to develop and we have to educate them.
Excuse me. I forgot a really important point in the investment sectors. Once we are discussing the investment sectors and looking into the top five invested sectors in Kazakhstan and Georgia, we see the top, yeah, We see the HoReCa in Georgia, tourism, like energetic transport, etc. But in Kazakhstan, we see the also mining, etc. But we don't see the education, we don't see the medicine, we don't see this kind of big areas, big sectors, which are somehow thought to be that in the Soviet Union it was not a business. So it's always is out of the box. So let's increase the box and see at the medicine, because in Kazakhstan is spending a huge amount of money in the medicine, in the medical sector. In Georgia, education and the medicine sector needs the professionals. And who are the professionals in the sector? Doctors. How the doctor can be a good manager? Okay, if they
some can be, not everybody can be good manager.
So you need to penetrate into the sectors as a professional.
Actually, we started the discussion, and actually we discuss all those topics, but the way of doing things, it requires change. Nobody loves the change, you know. Everybody afraid, it's a little skeptical. Will this work? Or maybe it won't work in this environment. And there are some challenges. How we will overcome that? So let's stick to the way that we know already. So the changes, even those changes are step by step and planned, nobody loves them. So they want to stick to the way they do in the past, but in order for them to keep up, they have to change. This is the only way through it. So the medical sector, we looked at how the COVID changed the situation in the healthcare sector. Actually, Georgi Begiashvili is also from healthcare sector. His background is he's a doctor, and he right now is a PMP and working in one of the biggest projects right now. It's working for the laboratory. But I mean,
Lobjani raised the hand and he wanted to put a question. Or I don't know. Do you see?
Georgi, yes, I see right now. Hi, Georgi. Georgi is the Director of Education for the chapter.
Okay, thank you for this great presentations for all. But Omar, I'm correctly pronouncing your name?
Ernar.
Ernar, sorry, because you have very interesting initiatives in your chapter. This is about mentorship and like this project. What happens in this directions? Because we are trying also to establish this mentorship program and what happens, what issues you experience. It will be very useful for us to share this experience.
Yeah, we have a mentorship program. We have participated with Russian chapter on that. They have provided their lessons learned, and we have our own lessons learned. So if you are interested, I can arrange a meeting with our manager, who is Victoria Kim. He is a program manager, mentoring program manager. She can share you the details of what happened, what are the consequences. The program is still undergoing, so I think it's quite successful. So we can connect. And
thank you if you will share this information, because it will be very useful for us, because we can manage this maybe together to organize some kind of projects, maybe our mentoree, we can manage this, and it is very big opportunities in this direction, and we can work together. Yeah.
Okay, Georgi, I will arrange all the details and share the details with you.
Okay, thank you very much. And what mentioned, what discussed during this our conversation today, it's talent gap. It's very challenging because yes, demand is for quality project managers. It's a very demand because of new environment, new everything needs changing, and when you're changing, you need some skills, and it's skills have around. It's a global problem, not only Georgia and Kazakhstan problems, because it's also mentioned in the PMI talent gap reports and so on, because it's a global gap, but it's solvable problem. not we are, because we can motivate people, we can educate people, share this experience. Why I mentioned, because sharing, because sometimes experiences project managers also need refresh their mind, because new changes, new environment needs new thinking, and it's very important, because we're working with people, with newcomers. It's very useful for experienced people also in every domain,
Okay. Thank you, Georgi.
Thank you,
Sorry.
Georgi. I think we have a question from Anara. Sorry, Georgi, do you have any more questions?
No, thank you for sharing.
Anara, she's interested, if not DA, not disciplined agile, what other agile certifications are popular? Thank you for the question, Anara. Actually, the Scrum org is pretty popular. So we have more and more certification from the Scrum org. As I see, there are ACPA also, but only couple of them, and I know those people. So this is the answer. The Scrum org is very popular. Agile PM is also popular. I see lots of certification from there coming. So this is probably the answer.
Liva, we can take this opportunity and ask Anara Asalbekova to present on disciplined agile for Georgia chapter. Anara, can you do?
Okay. Actually,
okay, Anara is a certified disciplined agile senior Scrum Master, so she can share the information with the chapter.
We can do that, and thank you for this opportunity. I will contact Anara absolutely for this.
Aria has raised her hand.
Yes, Aria, your question.
Actually, yes, we have maybe we have 10 more minutes, and maybe you could answer on my questions. I would like to ask a question to Ernar and maybe Georgi as well, as they are like more or less aware what's going on Kazakhstan on project management field. So the question is like, what are the noteworthy like challenges of the project management in Kazakhstan? So, like,
could you repeat what challenges?
Like significant challenges of the project management in Kazakhstan.
Oh, this is a quite. Let me start. It's
like,
a quite broad question. I have participated in several attempts to establish the good corporative enterprise size project management systems, and national companies, state-owned companies. It's hopeless. No hope for state, and we call it quasi-state companies, national companies, which is subsidiary of Samruk Kazna. I hope they will not sue me for that, but it's ugly truth. But in the private sector, now I work with the private sector. It's just completely different approach. The main reason is motivation of the people in state and government and state companies, government official. They're not interested in project management. Private sector is very interesting. It's very easy to work with them. We have established project management based on Microsoft project solutions like project for the web, project online. We have established daily stand-ups meetings. It works like a charm. It works very well. So I think the main problem is motivation among the enterprise sector. If the first person in the company is interested and knows what he's doing, what expects from project management, it's very easy. But if they are just doing for the sake of doing, nothing will work. In my opinion, the main problem. I hope I answered the question.
Thank you.
I think we have another hand raised by Georgi Begiashvili. Georgi, your question.
In fact, it's not a question, more comment to Georgi. Georgi mentioned that there are no projects in medical field. Unfortunately, I don't know details, but I know that my friend worked several years in Aktau. They were building hospital. So it seems that Georgians are involved there. Maybe next time I will have more details on that.
Georgi, excuse me, I'm not mentioning there are no projects. I said that we are missing that fields of interest because there are the educational and medical projects even in Georgia and in Kazakhstan. I said maybe you have misunderstanding. There are the projects, but I personally, from the investment position, we are usually missing the sectors as a traditional investment sector, and also the professionals. Also, the professionals didn't see these sectors, and in the statistics also there is no this kind of huge investment, but there are a huge investment, and the professionals that are needed. So your example is the real. So I'm fully agree.
Mr. Begiashvili, Georgi Begiashvili, I have to distinguish between the two gentlemen. If you have medical professionals and medical project management in medical area are needed in Kazakhstan. So if you have some friends with the experience and willing to work in Kazakhstan, so please send me the word, and I will try to send the word among our members. Maybe we can use networking to make some good. Okay.
Thank you. I believe that this kind of communication is very beneficial. For example, even 1 year ago, our chapter member who is PMP and who was offered work in Kazakhstan in Tengiz project through a huge American company, Bechtel. He wasn't granted working visa there. So because of that, he was not able to come there. So I believe that with this communication, we might prevent that kind of stuff in future if we can use our network
and with the procedures and stuff like that. Very interesting topic.
No, you can raise this. You can raise this issue also in the media because media coverage is really needed. I will make one good example of the professionalism because the Kazakhstan needs a huge amount of professionals in every field. For example, they are producing the wheat on the 11 million hectares.
Mhm.
Do they have more lands for increasing production? Yes, they have. Do they have the finances? Yes, they have. What they missing? The people. They don't have people for really good management, and they are pushing their production fields to each and another who is more or less successful, not the farmer but a businessman in the field. Because this is not a farming production in the thousands of hectares. So you have to raise this issue in the media, because I know the politically they will answer. If I will approach as the honorary consul of Kazakhstan in Georgia, and I will say that, guys, why are you not confirming the working visa to that guy who is going to work on the Tengiz? They will say that in the private speak that we have our enough people to send to work. And why the Georgian or Turkish guy or some foreigner should come here if this is not a Britain investment or something like this. But the state also have to understand the need of professionals, that the sectors need the professionals. The PMI chapter Kazakhstan need the professionals in the several sectors. So this is the job of PMI Kazakhstan and PMI Georgia, vice versa. Georgia do not have this kind of restrictions, but Kazakhstan definitely has. So I see that this is also a step which should be stepped forward.
Sure, thank you.
I agree with you, Georgi. There is still room for increasing awareness, to do more zooming on the importance of the project management. Actually, I remember the times when the people who were not even aware of what is the project management, and they were given project as if there was no special skills and knowledge required to manage the project. So just engineers, the ordinary people who never managed things, they were granted this position as if it is just a simple task. But the approach is changing, and we see the demand. But right now there is a discussion about the methodologies. Do we need agile or hybrid? So in the private sector, they don't even say that if we go in the private sector, in most of the cases, the investors, they say, I know how to do the business. But the project management requires a different knowledge, different approach. The general management approach is completely, and functional management is completely different than what project management requires, because it has different restrictions, different challenges. So I agree with you. We have a lot more things to do. Actually, we had an attempt in 2018 to do events for the media. Like we did a presentation for the Georgian media representatives, what is the project management, the basics, and how it can reflect on the media. For example, when they do a TV show, it's also a project, how they do it. So they also need different project management skills to execute their own projects. So I agree with you. There still is a room for more awareness increase. I think if there are no more questions, we have just right to the time. If there are more questions, they are welcome. But I think we reached the planned limit of our meeting today. Ernar, what do you think?
Yeah, that's 11 p.m. in Kazakhstan, so my head starts to exploding.
Thank you for having this meeting so late and accommodating. So this time difference is pretty difficult, but thank you for your involvement, and to the participants from Kazakhstan. Georgi, thank you for being such an interesting host. It was a pleasure. It was a real pleasure to host you here. And I hope we will continue our communication, coordination, how we can support as a chapter your initiatives and your investments. We are always open to the discussions. And thank you to the participants for your interest in this topic. And we hope we will create value for these 2 hours. And you heard interesting intels and the topics about project management in Georgia and Kazakhstan. Ernar, Georgi?
Yeah, thank you very much. And one more comment. We will send the record of this meeting, video record, and all the presentation, right, Lila?
Yes, absolutely, sure.
Okay, thank you very much. Georgi, your...
Thank you very much to all of you. Really, it also was beneficial for me because right now my head started thinking about how to cooperate in Kazakhstan with PMI Kazakhstan, PMI Georgia, and definitely I will. I want to offer directly right now as a Kazakhstan-Georgia economic union, we can sign the MOU. And based on the MOU, we can jointly work with the investors in both sides to somehow to spread the virally spread the information about the project management issues in both sides, and somehow we can create a joint project to help to one each other, or investment and the project management side. So this would be quite beneficial for us as well, because we need the professionals in projects, so we are not only guys. So the investors also need to see the people, the professional guys who will implement the projects. So ideas are a lot. We need the realization.
Great, great. Thank you for these ideas, and we are really happy to your offer, and this is our honor and pleasure, actually. Thank you, Georgi. Ernar?
Yes, thank you, Lila, for this event, for this participation. Let's continue our cooperation. Let's see what it will get us.
Dear Kazakhs, ulken rahmet.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Erlen, Fikriya, thank you for your comments and
Thank you.
participation.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Bye.
Thank you.